Quick question for you. How much have you guys heard about Haiti? Look, I decided to put a poll up on this one. So here's the poll on Twitter. I said, Haiti has descended into a pure hellscape, with social media now flooded with videos of gang violence and open cannibalism on the streets. Have you heard anything about it? Anyway, 3,500 votes later, and 99% of people have heard absolutely nothing about this one, which is not surprising. So that's the sort of topic I want to get into. So before I go any further on this one, I'm going to have to give a trigger warning because, of course, some of you are Zoomers and you need that sort of thing.
Thanks.
So do not listen to this segment if you've got children with you, if you have a liberal worldview, or you just find insane levels of depravity, rape, murder, human immolation, and cannibalism distressing. So if that applies to you, you should stop watching immediately after I plug the website. So go over to lotuseaters.com where you can find lots of great content. Just a reminder, we have been demonetized. So if you want to follow us, you should really go on there, sign up. You can get an account for free. There are paid options as well if you want higher levels of access and chat to us and all that sort of thing. But sign up for free because we're going to get kicked off eventually. Right, so before we dive too much into why Haiti is quite the mess that it is, should we do a little bit of historical background, a little bit of context on this? So Haiti is a small Caribbean island about 600 miles away from Miami. It's on the island of Hispaniola, which Haiti shares with Dominican Republic, which I have been to. It was a very last-minute thing. Me and the wife realised, before she was the wife, we had a free week, so we thought, let's go to the Caribbean. Had a look online, found a very cheap holiday to the Caribbean, and thought, let's do that. It leaves tomorrow. Turns out it was cheap for a reason. Worst bloody holiday I've ever had. But Haiti is even worse, and that's just across the border. So the story of Haiti. It was originally inhabited by the Taino people, apparently. History doesn't record them too much. Christopher Columbus founded the first European colony there. The indigenous people did not fare particularly well under the Spanish. French took over in the 17th century. They ruled it for a while, bit of a revolution. They left in 1804. So actually, Haiti has been the second longest independent state in the Americas after the US itself. And it is the oldest independent black republic in the Americas. It then, when it started governing itself, did experience quite a lot of political turmoil for a while. A lot of assassinations, military coups, sort of open warfare, really.
White supremacy, obviously, to blame.
Well, yes, coming to that, actually. That is a good point. In 1915, the Americans decided to step in to try and stop them from killing each other en masse. They stuck around for about 19 years and decided the place was ungovernable and left. So they've been out of it since 1934. Yeah,
and bear in mind, they were in the Middle East for the best part of half a century.
Yes, Haiti proved to be a bigger challenge. It had a dictatorship under a guy called Papa Doc from about 1957 up until the sort of mid-80s when his son was turfed out of office. And to be fair, it is the sort of place that could probably use a good dictator. It's one of different political models, work on different demoses, and it seemed to catch its groove there. But no, that didn't take either. And then to add insult to injury, it had a earthquake in 2010, which was quite bad. So it has had a troubled past, and it does have some legacy issues going back there. But to be fair, it's been free of colonialism for 200 years now. So it's, it can't really use colonialism as an excuse. Another interesting fact is Haiti is one of the most homogeneous places on Earth. Actually, a DNA survey was done there back in 2010, and they discovered that the DNA of Haiti is 96% sub-Saharan African and only 4% European. And that 4% is sort of mixed in to what they apparently call mulattoes.
Right.
I don't know if that is an offensive term. If it is, I apologise unreservedly and withdraw my remarks. But that's what I found out about it. So look, it's got a long history of independence. So you can't blame colonialism, and you certainly can't blame white supremacy.
But perhaps diversity is needed, because I have been told it's a strength.
That is true. Maybe that is what is lacking here. Although I always understood diversity to mean the absence of
be more black people. Yeah. There's a slight hole in this plan somehow.
Could be an angle. Haiti also has quite large reserves of natural gas, quite a lot, in fact, as well as deposits of gold. copper, other minerals. What did I find? Calcium carbonate apparently is quite a good one. And so overall, it's got a lot of mineral reserves that it could draw on.
So it could basically be Wakanda if it wanted to.
Yes, I think it is. It is, just a step or two away from that. Maybe quite a few large steps. But and to be fair, yes, it did have the earthquake in 2010. But then, Turkey had an earthquake recently. Japan has had a number of earthquakes. So I don't know if you can necessarily blame that. And the other thing that it's got really going for it is it benefited from the expertise of the Clintons after 2010.
So you may want to roll back that colonialism claim.
Well, possibly. Now, look, I don't know what it was that first attracted Bill Clinton to the child prostitution capital of the Americas in 2010 and what led him to put his network of people in there, shifting people and goods around. I have no idea what it was that first attracted him to that. And I don't know why the good Hillary Clinton, after hearing that billions of aid was going to be flowing to Haiti, why she wanted to insert herself into that money stream. The only thing I'm thinking is that I'm just nostalgic for a time when we had a better class of politician who acted so selflessly like Bill and Hillary Clinton did in worming their way in. We'll come back to that. In fact, no, let's have a look at it now. Let's have a look. So this is the Clinton Foundation Haiti Action Network. So the first picture there is a smiling Haitian woman painting a mug. I don't know why we're not getting that on. Maybe it's because it's on widescreen, but she's painting a mug. If you scroll down a bit, we've got a happy Haitian man plucking some sugarcane, presumably. So he's got a big smile on his face. So it all looks good. And you scroll down a bit further, some people of European ancestry have decided to go and put some solar panels up. So the Clinton Foundation clearly did very good work there, although Haitians themselves do dispute that one a little bit. Let's go to the New York Times, which is obviously a bit of a lefty rag. That one, it's always been a Clinton supporter. Interesting article, this one. Let's quote at some length from it, shall we? So it starts off talking about some of the protests going on there, carrying horns and handwritten signs and bottles of gasoline to set fire to tyres. On a group of men marched into many protests who were paralysed part of Haiti. They were angry with their president, who had let Parliament collapse and failed to hold scheduled elections. They were angry with the former American Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, who had put him in power.
That's interesting. So they were carrying horns, occupied the Capitol, and protesting an election.
Yes.
Clearly Haitian QAnon.
Yes, you would be led to feel that, wouldn't you? Especially since they thought that there was some election irregularities. Of course,
I think we even though we are demonetized, we have to condemn that because every single election throughout history has been safe and secure.
Well, especially ones that Hillary Clinton has been involved in.
Yes, of course. Well, hang on. No, because didn't she lose that one? So that one might have problems because of the Russians, right? I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah. So this article explains how Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, travelled there at least 4 times. And of the litany of complaints that the Haitian people have been making against the Clintons includes, apparently they turfed 366 farmers off their land. And then built an industrial park. And it seems the jobs haven't materialised that was promised, which was slightly unfortunate. Also, Mrs. Clinton's brother, Tony, was it Rodham or something? That was a maiden name, Rotherham or whatever. He has... He's been making a few land deals there.
Right. So just like Joe Biden's brother with Iraq.
Yes. You might draw that.
I'm so glad that these politicians have such philanthropic siblings who decide to upgrade the infrastructure in ailing countries.
Obviously, this one is completely different. I mean, we can be cynical about the likes of Joe Biden and his clan, who obviously using the Ukraine war as a massive money laundering operation, but the Clintons would never do that. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, of course, as well, Joe Biden and he showered with his daughter and Hunter Biden with all sorts of sordid texts with his niece. We could never dispute the Clintons being untoward towards underage and vulnerable people. Yeah,
when I heard that thing about Biden showering with his daughter, I just assumed that she was like 7 or something.
No,
not 27.
I think it was when she was young.
Right.
Yeah, that was in her diary.
Yes,
which was at once misinformation and also required the FBI to raid James O'Keefe's house to get it back.
Now, speaking of contemporary American politics, of course, this is the country that Trump got in trouble for. Because do you remember he was speaking to a bunch of senators,
and he called it a
shithole country?
Yes.
In fact, he mentioned he cited two, as I understand it, El Salvador and Haiti.
And El Salvador has done very well by cracking down on its criminal element.
Yes, I did a segment on Haiti, and I think Carl did one recently as well.
El Salvador, you mean?
El Salvador, yes, El Salvador. But, they've completely turned themselves around.
Yeah, President Bukele is actually quite inspirational.
The American media has fallen out of love with El Salvador, though they don't like him anymore. But I do remember at the time, they were sort of praising Haiti as basically sort of heaven on earth. Because obviously they had to take the opposite view of whatever Trump said.
That's really strange, because then as soon as a bunch of Haitian migrants came up to the southern border and had to be corralled by ICE on horseback, and they accused them of whipping them when they didn't have a whip on them.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be strange that they'd be refugees fleeing Haiti, but Haiti is a Clinton-invested paradise?
Yes, doesn't make an awful lot of sense, does it?
No.
Now, this article, again, I'm quoting from the article. These are not my words. And I'm going to quote directly here so I don't get in trouble with the YouTube censors. Right. To many Haitians, the most significant moments of Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State was in 2011, when she pressured the Haitian president to admit Mr. Martley, a popular recording artist. Have you ever heard of that? Somebody from the entertainment industry being pushed into the presidential role by the Americans. Interesting. Into a two-person runoff for president. The night of the runoff, which Mr. Martley won, Mrs. Clinton's chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, remember her? Yeah. Wrote a congratulatory note to the top diplomats in Haiti. And she said, and I am quoting here, YouTube censors, "You do great elections," Miss Mills wrote in the message released by the State Department. "We can discuss how the count is going. Just kidding." And then kinda, ! Smiley face. Presumably they wanted to make sure that it was fortified.
Yeah, very safe and secure. No.
Yes, they wanted to make it the most safe and secure Haitian election ever.
Yes. Yeah, ballots being counted from everywhere, including wine coolers.
Yes, just a shock that the Americans' preferred candidate won. Right, so the article goes on to say it may have been tongue-in-cheek, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so what Mr. Martley then did is he concentrated power around him, and he gave all the top jobs to people with criminal pasts who he knew that he could rely on. Again.
Right.
Yeah, this is completely different to any other contemporary country which America is involved in.
Do we know the Epstein client list? Or totally unrelated note, by the way.
Well, I was wondering that because what Bill Clinton got involved in this one was Epstein already out of business by then? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know why I'm making that connection.
I'm not sure. No. It's not like certain politicians could have blackmail material on them to do what other international bodies want to
heavens forbid. No.
That's terrible. Conspiracy theory.
Yes. Now, the article then goes on to list other complaints, including lucrative land deals, which we mentioned earlier. That was with Tony Rodham. Now, this is a really important point to make, and I do want to stress this. I am quite certain that Hillary Clinton's brother would have been buying up land in Haiti to flip, even if his sister wasn't Secretary of State. For the US at the time. I have no doubt that if Hillary Clinton was working as a cashier in Walmart, Tony Clinton, Rodham would have been doing these sort of flip for profit deals anyway. I am as certain of that as I am certain that if Joe Biden was a working for a small shampoo company in Delaware as a sniff tester, that his son would have been, after all, would have got that director job in the Ukraine energy company.
Same with Nancy Pelosi. I'm sure she would have just absolutely run up numbers on the stock market were she not a lifelong politician.
Almost a premonition that woman has for news which is going to government regulation which is about to affect stock prices. It's uncanny. So anyway, so that's all the background of Haiti. That brings you up to speed as to where we were until very recently. And then I tried to get into, what the mainstream media has covered this, recently. And there's been almost nothing since 2010. Since Trump made his remarks about it being an S-hole country, basically nothing has been written on this. The closest I could find was this one Daily Mail article.
And this was 17th of December 2022, so nothing for about 5 months.
Yes, quite. And that's the most I could find. Now, this one, it is a bit dark. It goes on to talk about various stories. In fact, the most of this article is talking about the unfortunate events surrounding a 16-year-old Haitian girl called Anne. Now, I won't go into too much detail because, like I say, it is a bit dark. But basically, the gist of it is that one of the ruling gangs broke into her home. Her brothers and father were taken away and immolated, and her and her sisters were abused for quite a long time, and then set on fire as well for good measure. She somehow escaped and managed to talk to the Daily Mail. So, yeah, very unfortunate story. Now, the reason I picked this one is because I can't show you the videos that I found on Haiti, but I can at least show you these. So let's go down a bit. Go back to the Daily. Yeah, scroll down this one. Hold on that in a minute. So that is apparently the guy running half of the capital now. This guy is a lovely man called Jimmy Barbecue. That's his
right.
That's his nickname.
Is that a football team scarf he has on as well?
Oh, is it?
That's very strange.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not very good on football, but yeah. Anyway, Jimmy Barbecue. Presumably, he's an absolute hoot at the weekend. If you bring him some Bud Light and however he got that name. Scroll on down. Yep. So. Yep, slight mess of it. Keep going on. That's poor Anna, who the article is mainly about. Keep going down. And the main thing I wanted to get to is there's a gentleman in a tire. Go down. Yes, so this is apparently a very popular method of, justice, I suppose, is how
so
they
they're
describe
dousing him in petrol and burning him alive while he's bound in a tire?
Yes. Apparently a lot of that goes on now. Which is slightly unfortunate. And bear in mind, this was before it got really bad. This last.
So this is just the appetizer.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I searched CNN, I searched the BBC, I searched a whole bunch of other mainstream news stories, and I could not find just absolutely nothing since about 2010 on this.
Well, Black Lives Matter, don't you know?
Yes. So I was slightly disturbed on Monday when my timeline on Twitter started showing me videos of. Cannibalism, basically. Cannibalism on the streets of the capital. Now, this is a tweet. This is the least graphic video that I could find, which shows people on who have been bundled into a vehicle and set on fire. But it's quite zoomed out, so it's not too horrific. But that gives you the type of clue as to some of these. A lot of these images, these videos have been going up and then getting fairly swiftly deleted, which I have mixed feelings on, because on one hand you don't want to see this stuff, on the other hand it kind of feels wrong to shut it out and just pretend it's not happening. So I do have mixed feelings on this. If you really want to go and find the dark videos, you can go onto Twitter and just search Haiti and go down the video tab. But I would strongly recommend that you don't.
I recommend at least putting a sensitive content warning on first and then clicking on things according to their titles rather than just having your eyeballs subjected to
it's not just that. It's just for whatever reason, if you put Haitian into the search bar and then search videos, you get an awful lot of low quality homemade porn. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I think I can handle that. Just be warned, quite a lot of it falls into the solo male category. So there are multiple reasons as to why I do the research so that you don't have to. That's where we're going.
Why do I work here?
Go on. Now, is the world completely blind to this? We know the media isn't talking. We know the government isn't talking about it. But the UN did at least a week ago point out that it is really spying. So let's have a look at this video.
All right.
I'm just going to play you the first few seconds to make a very simple point. So here we go. Here's the UN press conference on provide an update on the situation. Just the first few seconds. Let's watch this. So for those of you who are listening to this rather than watching,
good morning. We'll get started, and
you are
hopefully
looking at
some more
an
people
empty room.
can join as we get closer in. I know that we've rescheduled this a little bit earlier, so it may be some people will come in a little bit later.
So the UN do a press conference on the humanitarian crisis in Haiti,
and no one can be bothered to show up.
Nobody turns up. The only person there is this guy's aide who moves to the side. And if you scroll to the end of the 45-minute video, there is still nobody. So nobody from the press is even slightly interested in this. The UN also put out a document, which I'm not going to show here. I'm just going to add it to the reading list, which you can go and look at if you want to. But in that video, basically what happens is a Swedish UN operative is living in Haiti as sort of the UN's point person there. And she gives an update on it, and she adds that what does she say? So it's Eureka Richardson. She says, since our last briefing in December, the dire situation in Haiti is only deteriorating, adding that Haiti is in urgent need of humanitarian assessment. And that was a week ago, like I say, before this weekend when it went really
right.
Yes.
So my concern is the UN's version of humanitarian assessment, as I covered in the weekend segments, will be to roll in and make the child exploitation capital of South America even worse by decriminalizing the ability for kids to use drugs and be prostitutes.
Yes, what was it you told me the other day, that the UN came to some sort of weird logic on when it matters?
Yeah, it has 21 principles that says that pending the maturity of the child and their progressive autonomy, that a child can consent to sex.
Right.
Go and watch the weekend segment I did on that. For
and when they say child,
details.
what do they mean, a 15-year-old or something?
They didn't put an age. They said below the age of consent. They just said that.
Right.
I have made sure that is forwarded to relevant politicians. So maybe one or two might have the balls in the UK to question our funding. Would be nice.
So the UN isn't exactly on top of this, but even they acknowledge that there was something going on here, and it is not being covered elsewhere. Now, to give the other side of this story, this is a documentary which I found, which you can go and watch if you want. So this is a documentary made by Uncaptured Media, who get into Jimmy Barbecue's side of the story. Let's just play this, no sound in the background, because he's speaking presumably French anyway, or whatever it is. For those of you who don't know, French is a dead language which was once used on the European continent, but it still has some holdouts in some places around the world. Now, I have no idea the intricacies of what's going on inside Haiti. Maybe Jimmy Barbecue really is one of the good guys who's fighting against the situation, or probably more likely there are no such thing as good guys.
I would suggest by the name, and given the amount of videos and stories we've seen of people being burned alive, probably not.
Yeah, I mean. These guys make an argument, but like I said, I don't really know what's going on in there. The point I'm looking to make is that this is kind of what journalism is for. This is what the BBC and the CNN should be doing. They should be covering stuff like this. So the UN acknowledge it. Western governments don't. Western media doesn't. It has fallen to. Let's go to the next tweet. So the foreign minister of Kenya has acknowledged that the situation is spiraling out of control there, and he's actually looking to build support to send police from Kenya to Haiti to try and stabilize the situation somewhat. But no Western governments are doing that. Let's have a quick look at the next article, where he sets out his case. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry has pleaded for full-fledged international military intervention. His country requests help from the United Nations and has suggested that US and Canada lead a force. No such intervention has come together, and neither country has offered to take the lead. And in Kenya, Foreign Diaspora Affairs Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Murta has revealed to the country he's actively exploring the possibility of dispatching police personnel to Haiti in an effort to address the ongoing crisis in the country. Now, that is going to bring me to my concluding thought, because the Ukraine is presented to us as a humanitarian effort. We are told that the reason that the international community is intervening, and this is the official explanation, is because of the overwhelming humanitarian need to do so. Right. So is there not an overwhelming humanitarian need, by that logic, to intervene in Haiti? And yet we don't have a chirp. Nothing from media, nothing from Western governments, and yet the island of Hispania is only 70 miles from US territory. Because of Puerto Rico. So, I would imagine that, a single US battalion could knock this into shape. So it could be done at a tiny fraction of the cost of the Ukraine, which is making me start to doubt that humanitarian interventions are really the motivation that the US operates by. The only thing, the closest I could find to a US acknowledgement is this last thing. So this is the State Department offered travel advice, and their advice is do not travel to Haiti under any circumstances. They say the US Embassy personnel are required to use official transport to and from the airport. Protests, demonstrations, tyre burnings, and roadblocks are frequent, unpredictable, and can turn violent. The US is extremely limited in its ability to provide emergency assistance to US citizens in Haiti. And that's the closest thing that I could find to any acknowledgement on any US source that there was a crisis going on here. And maybe it's because if the US acknowledged that there was a humanitarian crisis on their doorstep and declined to do anything about it, it would shatter the illusion that other interventions they are making in the world are being done for humanitarian reasons. And the media won't cover it because they are complicit in the same set of lies.
We hope you enjoyed that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. If you enjoyed, you can go and get the full podcast for free on our website. And also you can pay us as little as £5 a month to get access to all of our premium content, such as the Contemplation series, this episode where Josh discusses with Stelios whether or not cities are having an impact on our psychology and politics. If you want to find out all of the content that we're putting out, you can follow us at lotuseaters_com on Twitter and Getter. Until next time, goodbye.